My name is Annie Dunning, and I'm one of the artists in the exhibition An Exercise in Listening. My work is about parallels or areas of overlap between the cultures of humans and those of other species. Typically, I look at the common species that I come into close contact with and how sharing space might shape culture. I choose my materials based on what I feel will best convey the ideas I'm exploring, though I've been working predominantly with sound sculpture for the past 10 or more years. I like that sound sculpture engages more of the senses, the visual and tactile in the sculpture paired with an audio presence. I'm also interested in the physical qualities of sound, how it can bend or bounce, and how sound can enter a body. Vibration is a different kind of tactile experience that I think relates well to sculpture. My sound sculpture at Two Rivers Gallery is called Cochlea, and it's made from cast glass and bronze with an audio component. This is the second version of this sound sculpture that I've made, the first being a much larger variation in 2016. With this work, I was interested in examining the parallels between the shape of a snail shell and the organ of our inner ear, the cochlea, from which this sound sculpture takes its name. I was particularly interested in the mirroring of forms that happens when we hold a shell to our ears, supposedly to hear the sound of the ocean. I wanted to make my shell out of glass because I felt there was a material connection between the silica of glass that is also present in beach sand, the beach being where we would typically listen to a shell. The soundtrack for Cochlea is deeply connected to the form of the glass shell. I made the original recording while doing a residency in Soinchula, BC, which is a tiny village on Malcolm Island off the northeast coast of Vancouver Island. The beach where I recorded is a place where whales come to rub on the stones to get rid of barnacles. I recorded the sounds of waves against the pebbled shore, and then I used the glass shell to manipulate this recording by putting a small microphone at the core of the shell and playing the recording of the water into the large opening. The new recording is distorted by the resonant tone of the shell. I used this new altered recording and repeated the process of passing each subsequent recording through the shell until the original recording of water was completely transformed. In the gallery, you hear a looped progression from the unaltered sounds of the beach to the pure resonant tone of the shell. To make the glass shells, I first sculpted them in wax. This was my first experience working with glass, so I went in search of a glass artist to assist me. I was lucky to find Kasia Carnota, who took care of the technical requirements of the glass casting. The conversations we had, as well as the technical expertise Kasia brought to the process, really shaped this work. Kasia added a funnel to the wax shell, then built a plaster and concrete mold. After melting out the wax, the mold was heated in a kiln. Once at temperature, the glass could be slowly added. The bronze net was made by a similar lost wax process. I first made the net out of wax, which had to be cut into sections because of its size. I then added sprues and vents to allow the bronze to flow into the form and air to escape. The wax was then dipped in a ceramic mixture and coated with silica sand multiple times. Once a thick ceramic shell was created, the wax was melted out. Bronze was melted in a crucible, and then the molten metal poured into the ceramic vessel that is packed in the sand. Once cooled, the ceramic shell is broken off, the sprues are cut and ground down, and the sections of bronze net were welded back together. The metal is then sandblasted and finished with a patina to give it its color.